Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Luke Ness Monster, and today we're going to be reviewing the brand new Ahsoka Tano, part of the Ahsoka Show line in the Black series. And this is Ahsoka Tano Peridea, also known as Ahsoka the White. And I gotta say, this figure is looking really good. Looking at the box though, we do have this amazing artwork of Ahsoka on the side here, and I do really love how the mural artwork turned out. Flipping around to the back, you can pause and read the bio if you would like, but we do have this exact same image of Ahsoka here, as well as the number 11, because it is number 11 in the Ahsoka line. Other than that, there's not a whole lot else going on with the box, so let's crack her open and see what all this figure has to offer. Alrighty, so we got Ahsoka out of the box, and I gotta say, this figure is looking really dang good. And I gotta say, this figure really surprised me. The older Mandalorian version of Ahsoka is already an exceptional figure, and I didn't really know they could improve on that figure, but they really found a way to do it, and I think this figure turned out amazing. Biggest problem is he doesn't have the white cloak. Obviously, it's Ahsoka the White, but without the white cloak, she's not really Ahsoka the White, so I know there's been a lot of controversy with that, but as far as this figure goes, mold-wise, sculpt-wise, and paint-wise, she looks great. She's just missing that white cloak, and obviously we're going to get into that a little bit more towards the end of this video. Anyway, though, let's go ahead, get her off the spinny stand, and take a close look at everything this figure has to offer. So taking a close look at this figure, I gotta say this is such a huge improvement. For starters, the LeCoux here are much longer than the Mandalorian version, which I think was a big complaint with the Mandalorian design of Ahsoka, and they did fix that in the Ahsoka show, and it does show off here on this brand new figure, which I do really like. They could have just reused that old head, but they made a brand new one to make it accurate to the show, and I do really like that. Something else I really like is the addition of these like metal gauntlets. Super great gunmetal gray color, and it really adds a contrast to like the grayish cream colors of this outfit. And then my next favorite part about it is they actually fixed the knees on the old Ahsoka figure. Like the pants went down to like the mid calf. And so the knee joint was like in the middle of the pants, and it just looked kind of weird. Well, on this figure, the pants end like right above the knee, and so we do have a pretty natural like knee joint here where it doesn't like separate the mold in a weird way, and I do think that is also a great fix on this figure. And comparing the two versions of live action Ahsoka that we have, on the left, we do have the Mandalorian version, and as you can see, these figures are much different. The new Ahsoka version is actually a brand new mold from head to toe, which is kind of surprising. I thought there were some pieces that they could reuse, but they decided to make a whole brand new mold regardless. At first, I thought that the chest was reused, but if you actually flip around to the back, you can see there is some like sculpted detail on the back of the shirt of this Ahsoka that the Mandalorian version doesn't. And so other than that, every other piece of this figure is brand new, which is really nice. But you can definitely see the LeCoux are noticeably longer on this figure. Another big change that I think is really important is the skin tone. The new Ahsoka skin tone is much deeper orange compared to the kind of like creamsicle orange of the old Ahsoka. I do think that the newer updated Ahsoka has a much more accurate skin tone to the show, so I'm really happy with that change as well. And of course, we do have to compare the Rosario Dawson face sculpts on both these figures. They are both very good face sculpts, but I do think the Rosario Dawson likeness on the right with the new figure is so much better. She also doesn't really suffer from the shiny face syndrome that the previous version did, so that is a huge bonus. But with these two figures here, you can also see the big height difference, with the newer Ahsoka being slightly shorter, which I do think is more accurate to the show, so really happy with that change too. Looking at the articulation on this figure, now I do like the longer LeCoux, but the problem is that it kind of gets in the way of the articulation, but for the most part you still get a good range of motion there, so not too upset with that. At the arms, her arms do go up to a T-pose. And the really cool thing about this figure is that the butterfly joints are actually this entire like orange piece here. They sculpted it as like part of her shoulder blade, and it works perfectly because it's like a hidden butterfly joint, but it's got a ton of range of motion that a typical butterfly joint would not get. And so really happy with this. And it's just sculpting and molding like this that Hasbro puts into figures that are really nice. There's a lot of ingenuity and design that goes into it, and I'm really happy with how they were able to do that. Looking at the elbows, she does get past 90 degrees, and then she does have two vertical hinges at the wrists for her lightsaber hands, which are really nice. Looking at the waist, she does have a ball joint at the waist. Then looking at her legs, she can kick up about that far, so tons of range of motion for kicking, and she can kick back about that far, so great range of motion. No thigh cuts, but she does have like the extended hip joints to where you can get a little bit of motion in there. Looking at the knees, gets past 90 at the knees, and then the ankles do have pivots and rockers. Next up, moving into comparisons, we do have two of the heroes from the show with Ezra on the left and Sabine on the right. This trio is looking amazing, and it really makes me appreciate some of these live-action Rebels appearances of some of these previously animated characters. And speaking of which, we do have some more animated characters here with Hera Syndulla on the right, Huyang on the left, as well as Chopper there as well. Again, all of these figures are looking great, and it's going to make a great Rebels/Ahsoka display. Next up, we have some villains from the Ahsoka show with Morgan Elsbeth on the left, and we have Thrawn on the right. These are looking great. Continuing with the trend of villains, we have Captain Enoch on the left, and we have the Night Trooper on the right. Two of my favorite figures of the year. These are two of my favorite figures of the year, and they're looking great next to Ahsoka here. And then last but not least, we do have Baylan Skoll on the left, and Shin Hati on the right. Some more villains looking great next to Ahsoka, and obviously we saw Ahsoka duel both of these characters in the show, so they're gonna look great on the display next to her. So overall, I'm absolutely loving this figure. I think she is a huge upgrade compared to the previous Ahsoka, and I do actually like this outfit much more than the darker grays. I think the lighter, whiter, cream colors are a much better color scheme for this outfit. Again, biggest problem is that she doesn't come with the cloak, and I do think that is a big shame. I do think we're gonna get a version with the cloak later down the line, so if that's like a deal breaker for you, wait to pick that one up, but it is a real shame that this one doesn't come with the cloak. Anyway guys, that is gonna do it for the video though, so if you did enjoy, make sure to go down and hit the like button, subscribe, and overall, I do recommend this figure to pretty much anybody who is a fan of Ahsoka, or a lot of the new modern Star Wars projects. That is gonna do it though, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.